Some of you might have heard before we jumped on here, we were joking before the call because we've had some background here with HMS Cornerstone and first started working with them about 15 years ago. And at that time, I think I had a little more hair. But we're excited to be a part of this, and we hope that this is going to be a valuable time that you guys have spent here with us. So, just again, it's rare for us to come across organizations like HMS that are dedicated to doing grid work, and we're thankful for the opportunity to share some of our insights here today.
Well, I will say, John, we're very excited to have you here today. It's a good product. It has been for all these years, and we're happy to see it today.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So I'm just going to jump into this thing and see if we can't make some progress here. Is this webinar worth your time? We'd like to think so, but let's try to answer these questions here for you. First off, why'd you spend any time with us? And I think we've been around for a little while, but we also work with some of the largest and most successful players in the industry. And that gives us an interesting vantage point and a lot of experience in the industry itself. But if you just signed up for this webinar blindly, I can save you some precious time because we've developed our presentation for an audience that is developing residential land in master plan communities. That's really who we work with, and that's where our insights come from. More specifically, this is for you if you manually process home sales, manually process lot sales or update lot maps, track accounts receivable and takedowns, or identify patterns or trends, evaluate land. And the list goes on and on. But simply put, if you're involved in the land development process, this is for you. This is what we've developed it for. So our industry, and we were talking about this previously here before we jumped on the call, it seems to be that our industry has fallen behind. And I think there's a lot of factors that drive changes and impact both buyers and sellers in our industry. But historically, residential construction sector has been less prone to innovation compared to other industries. And I want to read a quote here from some research that I recently came across. It says here, recent trends underscore real estate industry's resistance to technological advancements, attributed in part to its complexity and reliance on traditional practice compared to other sectors. I thought that was interesting. The report goes on, and I found I was maybe more surprised to find that the agricultural sector is actually considered more innovative and likely to adopt new technology than ours. We're here to tell you there's a better way. We know that this is an issue, but there is a better way. And what we do is we help developers and builders manage the entire land development process from A to Z. And our software allows you to audit and control every part of the land development process. So what is our aim here? By the end of this webinar, we hope you'll learn how our customers attract eyeballs and keep them on their site. For our customers, engagement with the future home buyer is really important. You will learn which tools successful land developers and builders use the most. Because of our experience, we have some unique vantage point that allows us to understand better the challenges the industry face and the solutions that work to resolve them. A simple way to score and measure your performance against industry best practices. We all want to know how we're doing against the competition or how we measure up. And so we've got an interesting tool at the end of this presentation that we're going to put up on the screen so you're able to go through that and sort of measure your performance against industry best practices. So my name is John. I haven't introduced myself yet. I'm one of the founders here at LotWorks. And over the last 20 years, we've been establishing ourselves in this industry as leaders. And our systems have been crafted from input from developers and builders alike in this sector. And so that's what we do. Let's jump in and have a look. Let me pass you over to my partner here, Stefan, and he'll attempt to show you at the time I've left him here, the KPIs that our customers track and how. Good. Take it away, Steph.
Perfect. Thanks for the introduction. I want to start out on the sales and marketing side. The first KP we want to look at is website user engagement. And the first solution that I'm going to talk about is LotWorks Builder Maps, the interactive plat maps that are displayed on your website. So it's not just millennials and Gen Zs, buyers across all age groups are demanding more information before they engage with the sales rep. And as you can see on the screen now, Google and Boston Consulting Group, which found that real estate companies to provide better map-based information about the location of a property unlocked 1.3 to 2 times more value. Why? Interactivity keeps them on the site. And we find the more interactivity, the more they're on the site, the more they're likely to reach out. And for many builders, we found the current method of engaging customers online is broken. Of course, every home builder showcases their models. Many will show you the ones you can buy now, quick possessions, and move now. But if you're not showing customers where that home's location is, we believe you're doing it wrong. Showing them on a map is their first chance to visualize their home in the real world. At LotWorks, we don't provide our clients with an out-of-the-box solution. We tailor it around your business goals and objectives. So I'm going to show you 4 separate examples of how we've helped 3 different builders and 1 developer. The first example is a builder, and this is their community page. You can see they've got a site plan. If I scroll down, that's going to pull up this particular map. A couple things how we separate ourselves from our competitors is, first off, we're the only solution developer in the space that's an official Google Maps technology partner. Secondly, our maps are built on top of a full geospatial backend, which allows us to do some really neat things that we'll show you here. And lastly, we give you full control over the background layer of your maps. Your maps are your way. And all you really need to do is insert a simple line of code into your website. That's it. So you can see when I scroll down, they've inserted this simple line of code, and I can scroll in and I can see the details around it. So in this particular example, if I click on lot 47, the first thing that happens is that they pull up their side panel. This is a custom side panel, so the builder decides what they want to show. And they want to show the potential home buyer what that lot even looks like. So they can zoom around. It's similar to Google Street View, but you can see the horizon, see the dirt if you want. They give the exact location of that lot and what it looks like. Next, they provide models that can be built on that particular lot. So if I like the Monterey, I can click on it. That's going to pull up the Monterey sheet, which showcases that particular home, gives the details about it, the elevations I can select. It gives a virtual tour of the home, floor plan, and then lastly, they want to show the gallery. So they really do a great job of showing where this model, where the lot is and the model that can be built on that home. Second example I want to show you is another builder. There are multiple communities. They wanted to show the spec home details as well as which models that can be built. So you can see here's all their communities. If I click on it, it loads LotWorks, brings up that map. This is a full page view. Last example was just an iframe. But I can scroll into that map and I can see if I'm in a rush looking to buy a house, I want a spec home, I can see there's a pretty sweet park up here with Splash Park. And tobogganing in the winter, which if from Canada, that's a big deal because we always have a lot of snow. But I can see there's a little pathway to this park. I like it. I want to click on lot 64. That's going to load details of that specific spec home. Again, builders showcase their spec home, but where is it located? And I can see the details of that spec home. I can even get pre-approved. I can see a mortgage, and I can see any details of that particular lot. And finally, I can request a tour. When I scroll up to the top of the community, if I wanted to see, say, for example, lot 23, they show the models that can be built on that particular lot, these 4 models. And so this particular buyer actually had an increase of over 10 minutes of time for their potential buyers to stay on their site when they're on this map. This ties specifically right into your CRM tool. The last example I wanted to show is a builder who kind of has gone all in online. So in my previous life as a sales rep, I actually worked in a model home while I was in university, and I noticed that there was 2 types of buyers. The first buyer knows the community and they select the lot first. So I've only bought a few houses in my time, but because I have so many kids, the location of the lot was the biggest priority. I always wanted something that backed onto a park or had that made it good for the kids. So I always selected the lot, and then I went to the builder and find out what I could build on that lot. And this builder has done a great job in that. First thing that the potential home buyer does is select the community. My first option is choose a lot. Most people want to see that lot. As you can see, I'm just going to show you that this builder has about 18 different models that I can build in that community. But I'm a lot guy. I want to choose the lot first. So I select the choose a lot, and that pulls up LotWorks maps. You can see this highlights all the builders' lots that they can build on. You can see up here, there's a bunch of lots that are around the ridge and some in the middle here. But say, for example, that I want to scroll and I like lot 11 for whatever reason, right? I click on lot 11. And again, the side panel is totally controlled by the builder, but I like it. They show the price. You don't need to show the price, but I select that lot. So now when I select that lot, that takes the model count down from 18 to 8. So here are the only models that I can build on that lot. So I like this stone field. I can, mix and match the different options. I can add a chef's kitchen. I can change the upper floor plan. And then lastly, I can choose the exterior and a package detail. Once I save my home, I get an email as well as a builder salesperson. So again, that just gives me the ability. The second type of home buyer, which was more rare, were the individuals who would come into the show home and they would just fall in love with the show home. And they would say, I want to build this house. Where can I build it? So let's use that for example. I got to select the community. But now I come in here and I really like the Silverwood. This is the show home. And I click on that. Again, it gives me the ability to make any changes, to play around. From there, again, I can select the package or select the package. From there, I choose a lot. And that showcases me only the lots that can be built. So you can, if you remember all these ridge lots, they're no longer there. I can only build this in this particular area. And so I select that lot 17. And now again, I'm just building that package. I can save and view my home. So they did a really good job of trying to hit both of those buyers. The last example I'm going to show you is just the developer. I was clicking on legacy, but the developer who sells to multiple builders, they showcase their lot map. And when I click on it, I scroll down, you can see they allow the potential home buyer just to select the different product types. So if I was interested in the estate side of things, I can just click there. That's just going to show me those estate lots. Or I can scroll in, and if I select lot 38, that shows who the builder is. And this is tied right to the developer CRM tool. So when they register, they get it in their CRM tool, and then it also sends out notification to the particular builder salesperson. So the coolest thing about this is not only does the registration tie to the developer CRM, but it also notifies the builder. So it's basically a lead generator for the guest builders, which is always a good thing. Now, if there's so many benefits to showing these interactive maps, why aren't builders doing it? And we hear this time and time again, is that one, it's a duplication of effort. Usually builders are already updating their CRM tool or another piece of software. They don't want to double up. It's a waste of time. It can be expensive. If you've delegated the task of keeping maps up to date to a marketing agency, you're paying too much for your maps. And lastly, it's time consuming. And let's not forget the worst kind of maps. If you're updating a site plan PDF with last month's or last week's sales status, people look at it, wonder how accurate is it? And you're really kind of misleading that salesperson. You only really have one chance, right? So our maps remove all those concerns. We can feed in status updates automatically from your CRM tool. So as soon as they update it in their CRM, we can pull that and it can show directly on your map. It's a single flat rate per community. And we can take your engineering drawings or marketing maps and turn them into what you see here in a day or two. So That's our maps products. I want to shift now and look at some different KPIs. And to do that, we're going to look at a different solution, one that we call LotWorks Develop. And we're no longer talking about website maps here. This is our kind of full-fledged lot and home sale backend solution. So if you're looking to track your lot and home sales more efficiently, this is the time for you to pay attention. I want to set this up by why we built LotWorks Develop in the first place. And so I'm going to show you this screen, and the developers and builders that use our product at least have one of these challenges. Some have all three. And that would be our first one, data control. Too many sources of data, having to consolidate multiple sources of data to pull together a report. Non-standardized forms. Another one would be workflow control. And this could be non-standardized processes, could show up in people taking shortcuts. For developers, maybe builders have proceeded with construction before ARCHI approval. And then lastly, and this is a big one, offline maps would be visualizations. Offline maps have a built-in lag and can't be shared. It's really hard to spot trends in spreadsheets. Spreadsheets tell us what, but not where things are happening. And you just want to see it all in real time. So we always say reliable answers visualized in real time. The first example I want to show you is done by a builder developer, and he was having a tough time visualizing the data and trends by analyzing spreadsheets. And so this client used a newer version of LotWorks Develop, which is strictly a visualization tool. They had an ERP system that tracked everything that they wanted to display, but they didn't have any built-in mapping capabilities. So before LotWorks, the regional president would use the report, access his big vinyl plat maps, and he'd write notes all over in a dry erase marker to help him spot trends. And as you can imagine, it was a pretty time-intensive process for him. So what we did is we built this map. When I come in here, I can see all the communities. I can see how many lots that we're tracking. If I click here in the top left-hand corner, and I just want to see a specific community, I can see the sales status. So you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, it went from 1,500 down to 372. I can quickly look at what's available, what's spec, conditionally sold, and I can come over here and get an accurate number. So it's, again, just a nice quick way to see and visually see what's happening in your areas. The other thing that he wanted to do was see where construction statuses were. Again, he would get the spreadsheet, but he wanted to see it on a map. And so he added the construction status. Again, this is all customized to what his construction status is, right? But now he can see framing, mechanical, and drywall, mechanical. So he can see all of these, and he can come over here and see the actual details of where everything is happening. And lastly, he wanted to see by product type, what different product types you can see by the footage of each of these lots. So how does that help him spot trends? And I can just give you a quick example. But say he wants to see, show me all the 20-foot lots rear lane. And then he wants to see, okay, how are those selling? So he goes back to the sales status. So now he's just looking at the 20-foot lots with those sales status. But then he wants to see where they are in construction. So maybe I now open our construction status, and I want to see, okay, show me everything that's been released, construction start in those two. So I can see most have been released, but they haven't started yet. Only 6 have been started. Maybe he has a meeting with the construction manager and he wants to pull this report. So he just clicks here. That's going to pull it up. Those lots, you can see 100 lots have been exported. Here are the filters that we've used. And I want to use my construction report. So now that's just going to pull the report. I can generate that report. And now he has this information, and he can either click, download it to an Excel spreadsheet or a PDF. So it's pretty simple, but you can see the powers of this tool and how you can just keep filtering down and down and down to get exactly what you're looking for. So obviously this tool saved them a lot of time. The second example I want to show you came across a land developer that was having trouble with data quality control. You know, this builder would send this developer information, but maybe not in the way that they wanted it. So even if they send it in an Excel spreadsheet, they would still have to take that, enter it into this system. So this developer really wanted to know the sales of each of their lots and the show home traffic. How much was their marketing doing? And so we built a tool that allowed the builders to log right into LotWorks. So let me pull that up. And I'm logging in as a builder. Again, just to highlight, every time that someone comes in, they have a username and password and they can only see their information. So I'm logged in this particular community as a builder. I can see my trailing 4 weeks. I don't have any access to any other communities, obviously, because I'm only selling in this. But again, the dashboard or the map is kind of the key to this. When I click on the map, I don't have any other communities. I'm just in Amble Glen. And I can see, if I click on a particular lot, I'm going to take that and I'm going to release this lot. So if there was, we have pre-approved models for the developers aspect, but in this case, we're just going to type it in. So we'll say Plan A, elevation, Euphoria. And this was all information that we're sending the developer anyway. So I'm going to say 250,000 lot premium. I'm going to say there's $1,000 incentive for landscaping. So I hit submit. That immediately takes that lot and releases it. So it's ready to build. You can see that it's changed that sales status. So now it's in released. At that time, the builder can either reserve the lot or submit sale. So say we submit sale, we've got someone interested in estimate closing of escrow. They can click and say, we'll say it's a year out. I don't know the escrow number yet. I can make any changes, but they wanted to track buyer information. So I can fill in this data of buyer information. And just for time, I'm just going to throw in dummy data, but address, buyer. And then lastly, they wanted to track if there was a realtor involved or a broker, and name and information there, and if there was a fee. So we'll just say no for that time. And that automatically changes that lot status to sold. So you can see in this particular example, in a lot of our developed product, the builder is updating the status of the map. So if in that example where I showed the developer showcasing their map, they didn't have to go in and change it. The builder would make those changes and that would show up as sales. They also wanted to get key information, demographic information. So once that information was sent, they've got the buyer information, a brief survey was sent to them, and here's just a consent, but they just asked detailed demographic information for that, which allows them to be a better developer. Now I'm going to show you, I'm going to log in as a developer would. And I'm logging in as a developer. So again, they want to see the trailing 4 weeks for sales. And now they can say, okay, show me in the different communities they're in, right? So their kind of KPI metrics is a little bit different. And they also wanted to see the show home traffic because they spend money on marketing. You know, what effects are they having? And they can also see which builders are missing those traffic reports. So I jump into the map here. And I want to look at this in ways that you might look at your own inventory. So even though I'm logged in as a developer for you builders out there, keep in mind that this could just be a simple tool that you can use as well. But this developer looked at, they're tracking 1,039 lots. I want to jump into a specific community. So I'm going to go to that same community where I showed you the builder was in. I can see the different sales status, but I want to look at all of the lots that have been closed, right? So I click on that, that filters to those 109 lots. And then I want to go into a little bit more detail. I want to see what lots have been sold this year. So I'm going to go into close of escrow date. So now I want to just see just ones that have closed this year. So if I jump up to Jan, I'm going to go Jan 1st, and that's going to just highlight. So it went from 199 down to 151. But then I wanted to look at and just see how they're selling out of those. So I want to go asking closing price difference. So I want to see what was the asking price and closing price difference. And I can come over here and I can see a majority of them have been closing over their asking price. So I look at this over 20K asking price. I can see those 39 lots. I want to look at those lots. And from there, I'm looking at these lots, but which builders are doing it? So again, I can come into here and select by builders. I can see out of those 39 lots, Bluegrass has done 3, Delta's done 10, and Yellowtail has done 26, more than double of the other 2 builders. So I want to drill down into that a little bit further. So now I look at Yellowtails, just Yellowtails. And from there, I want to see what product type they're selling, what's making them this good of money. So I can go into product type, and that is drilling down. Out of those 26, I can see 7 are condo, 5 have been detached rear garage, and 14 townhouses. So this developer really has a keyed interest on providing value for their builder group, and that's why they wanted to show it. But as a builder, you could do the same kind of breakdown, whether it be different projects, sales team, different models. This can all be done so you get that visual element. And say, for example, he wanted to talk to Yellowtail about these 26 lots and how they've done. He can just click the print icon, which will pull up the filtering, showcase where are they on their map, and then the details about that, and click print. So they really go to a lot of detail to see those trends and get that information. So some of you out there might be thinking, how long would it take me to drill down and get this kind of data right now? Again, we provide that. And what other trends could I identify in my own inventory that helps me become a better builder or a better developer? So again, this developer was given direct access to information, which really, by allowing the builders to enter that information, really eliminated a lot of duplication of efforts. Both the builder and developer increased efficiency, and the developer loves the tools and allows them information to become more profitable, and that's the goal. The next example I want to show you would be our developed product, where if I jump back to that workflow, they really had issues in all areas: data control, workflow control, and visualization. I've spent some time on data control and visualization, so this last one I'm just going to talk about some different workflow. But here their dashboard is, they show recent third-party sales, payment tracking. We're not an accounting software, but this, in terms of workflow, kind of allows the builder to go to the next step. So we need your money and agreement back before you can start building, or before you can start architectural controls. This is another area where we track the takedown schedules, so developers can see the takedown schedules automatically, and they can track the reordering of lots in that takedown schedule. So I know that gets kind of confusing for builders, but that's all done here. If you look, we showcase anything in red as they need to be paid, and black is at the time hasn't come. Yeah. Other areas that they track is architectural approvals, average architectural time, show home traffic, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to jump into the map, show you a couple of examples. So this developer tracks 3,298 lots, but I'm going to jump to that community, Ravenscrest, and you can see that this is 900. I can also use this to filter, I just want to see phases 7 and 10. But you can see whatever kind of filtering I do, it loads really quickly and has really good detailed maps. In this particular development, you can see that overview map that we layer on. I can turn on and off. I can see where those are. Those are the geo-referenced lots that are in the exact location. But this developer also showcases the details of the lot. So we put in kind of 3 maps here, so you can see when I scroll in, this is in meters, but you can see the actual details of those lot statuses. Again, Got a lot of different visualization tools. The developer can log in and see anticipated delivery date from a construction standpoint, where are we at, what's coming up in the next 6 months, and I'll show you how that tool works. But they've got a lot of different visualization tools that I think you get the idea on that. And I just wanted to quickly show you how this developer would sell the lot. If they click on an available lot, they're able to click on here and select. It obviously removes any lots that have already been sold. I click submit. And so we take the developer's agreement, tie it in with DocuSign. All the developer really needs to do at this point is select who the builder is. This is tailored for each developer. So whatever your first and second deposits are, you might not have a deposit, but we track that here. You have security deposits on it. And then last, the takedown schedule. So you can set this up any way you want, but I want, 3, 3, and 1, and I want it on these particular dates. And then I go from here. I can preview that PDF. It's going to load that, but I can also just scroll down and make any changes to that agreement. From there, I can click submit PDF. That's going to now send that to DocuSign to the salesperson in the accounting department. I hit confirm. And then in the meantime, I just want to pull up that agreement. Here's the developer's agreement. And you can see the first couple pages, we take all the information from LotWorks, fill it in, the details of that. This is a standard agreement, but I just want to scroll down and show you the last part of that shows the builder where the exact lots they have. And when I go jump back to LotWorks, I can see that this action's been successful. And then we're tracking it here. That automatically showcases up as blue. And now if I click on it, I can see these details from the recent sale. We also show in this particular example, because this developer sells to multiple builders, we also showcase what models were submitted. So builders can actually see what models and the colors that have been approved. I'm not going to go into it just because of time, but I just wanted to quickly talk about the workflow, because I think with architectural side of things, that is a workflow. But you can see that the architectural design has been submitted. An email would be sent to the developer saying a new one's been submitted to be approved. If it gets rejected, it goes into here. And if it's been rejected, it goes into the resubmitted. So this is all, you need approvals before the builder can start building. So an outside agency surveyed our clients, and they said one of the things we kept hearing from the developers was that it puts the developers back in control of their process. And if I click on architectural design approved, I can click on any one. I can see what was submitted. I can see comments. Then if I wanted to actually see any of these, I can click on it. But if I just look at the approval, you can see what was approved. That is kind of our LotWorks Develop. It's a big product. We offer many different variations of it, but our whole goal with LotWorks Develop is just creating those efficiencies, right? Like, how can we make these developers better by implementing technology? The last one I wanted to talk about was LotWorks Land. And so this is a little bit different. LotWorks Develop focuses on the lot specific. LotWorks Land focuses on the parcel of land. So this is more for executives to visualize all their land holdings, including potential deals, upcoming developments, current developments, and past. So you can see here, this developer's tracking 68 parcels of land. I can, again, this is still dynamic. So I can click on active prospects. That's just going to highlight the 16 active deals that I'm looking at. They're both dynamic, but if I scroll in at the end of the day, the developer wants to see all of the information of those particular parcels. So if I click on this, right click there. So when I click on that, that is going to give me all the details. And again, this is tailored to the developer and what they want to track. So what you see here might not be what you want to track, but we're just trying to give you the idea of what can be tracked. Vendor take back, remaining, closed, sale date, booked value, what was the original purchase price. They can see if there's any JVs in here. And if they were developing it, they could see, brief overview of the actual lots that they were selling. Super easy to implement. If I'm interested in a new parcel, I can just click here, and this is the new parcel that I want, and then I just enter this information, notes, and tie that in. So again, really easy. I want to show you a couple of the visualization tools. If I jump up to Edmonton, for example, that shows the 26 lots. But we pull in from municipalities information right onto this map. So I can see area structure plan or neighboring structure plans. Some developers have put in their roads on new communities so they can overlay that. But you can see area structure plans and neighboring structure plans. If I'm up here, I can see, neighboring structure plan. Again, so we can pull these in. And as soon as something gets updated on the municipality, we can automatically enter that information in here. So in some cases, you can click on this and actually see the details of these neighboring structure plans. The last thing I wanted to show you is something we did just to help out this executive, but he was always buying and selling different parcels. So we just created a tool for him. He would get his staff to do it, take the staff about a half day to do these, but he wanted just a quick way to produce a report. So we would click on that, click internal or external, say you wanted to do an internal report. That's just going to load up. And if I pull that up here, that's just going to showcase, all the details that he wanted for this particular parcel. So it shows exactly where it is, the details, and then the actual parcel itself. So again, this particular executive is in this LotWorks land most days, at least once he mentioned. And that is our suite of products. So to recap, we've got the LotWorks Builders Maps, where we help builders with their marketing efforts. We've got LotWorks Developer, where we help builders and developers with visualization, data control, and workflow management. And lastly, we've got our LotWorks Land, and they all kind of revolve around the Google platform. So thank you very much for your time. We do have time for questions, I believe. And while we do these questions and answers, Stuart, you're going to open it up. But John talked about our scorecard, how you guys are doing, give away 7 mission critical KPIs for your business. So we'll just leave this screen up while we answer the questions.
Oh,
thanks again for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hey, I was just kind of wondering if you would address maybe any of the systems that you have tied into, any of the back office ERPs.
Yeah, that is somewhat unique to each customer. The usual suspects of the CRMs are like the HubSpots, the Salesforce, who else am I missing there, Steph? Obviously, JD Edwards in some cases, Sales Simplicity.
Well, what I would like to give the folks an idea that you are open to working with other products and tying in your data. I think that's the key, not necessarily who you've done it with, but the fact that you are open to it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is kind of critical. We've seen a lot of people be real protective over keeping their data in silos. It makes no sense to us as far as where the data resides. It's how we share it so we can eliminate this duplication of entry. That's really the key issue here as we talk to our customers. And that's the one that we want to work with, the customers we want to work with.
We do have an API to pull that data out, right? That's the important part, because we're such a kind of a niche in this whole software world. We've got to be able to work with other companies, and that's why we developed the API to pull.
Yeah, I think that's important because not everybody shares your business acumen as far as that is concerned, and I think everyone should be aware of that.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem at all.
I posted as well that quiz link in the chat, just in case you're not seeing it on your screen there. Obviously, it's that QR code there, but we also have, if you send Steph an email there, we can also send you a copy of this, what we consider the sort of 7 mission critical KPIs, and see how hopefully that would be it's an interesting read for you if you're in the industry and you're looking at what are the most valuable KPIs that people are tracking and why.
Oh, yeah, that would be great. Thank you. As far as ongoing evolution, I know we've all been around a long time. I was just curious, any thoughts of where you'll be going in 2024 with the product or any planned enhancements?
Yeah, absolutely. These are like the areas that we've always really worked when really we have a vantage point that obviously steers our investment in the product itself, and we have a roadmap that we're on right now. Obviously, the platform we've chosen is this geospatial platform, Google Maps. That's advancing all the time, and the tools are getting easier to use. Data is becoming more available, and that is driving, sort of the direction that we're taking it. But, critical to that is working with our customers. Sometimes it actually surprises us with what the data that they are wanting to know, or the information they'd like to know. And so that drives the evolution of the product as well. And I think that that's a critical piece, has been a part of our success in the past, and making sure that there's a product to market fit, is that we're listening to our customers. Our customers really are directing that. And because it's a cloud software, it's not version after version. We're making releases all the time that address those challenges and add new functionality to the product. So we're excited about the stuff that's coming, specifically in the areas that are that of multifamily and things like that. So we're excited about what the future holds for the product itself.
That's cool. Will you guys be at the Builder Show?
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll be at the Builder Show. I think this is our 5th year now, 4th year, 5th year, something like that. And we're excited to meet people that are in the industry and talk about the problems they've got and their observations too. So it's a great opportunity. We've enjoyed our experience there.
I might hold you to a lunch there when we're there.
Done.
There you go. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take all the questions. Maybe others have questions. If you're shy, you can add them to the chat, and we will. I'll read them out loud. I'm not very shy.
Looks like Sean has one.
There we go.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Sean.
Hi. I was just curious because the information you showed us here looks like they're larger systems for like larger builders. I'm wondering, for somebody who's smaller, who maybe builds like say up to 100 houses a year, or 50 to 100 a year, do you have a smaller platform option, or do you just customize it to each builder?
Do you want to take that one, Steph? We certainly do. Go ahead, Steph.
Yeah, that is, we would really just meet with each builder and to get an idea of what they want to accomplish and what they do. But we do have a range of builders. We've got some builders that are very big, and some that are, selling 30 homes a year, right? So, and we do have different pricing structures based on that, how many different communities you're in and things like that. So there are definitely ways that we work with. We've got a wide range of the builder group.
Oh, okay, that's great. And I'm just wondering too, like, you were saying like there's a fee for it. Is it like a one-time fee, or is there like a monthly subscription? And do you know roughly like what the fee is to set up something like this at all?
Yes, I hate to blurt out a number, but I always do. But we don't want to charge for things that you wouldn't need. But to give you an example, it would really depend on what you're looking for, how much configuration you want on that side panel that I showed you. But it can range anywhere from $100 a month per community, and with a small implementation fee. It's really hard for us to say without seeing how many communities you're talking about and how many maps we process. But we feel like we've got our maps process are dialed down, and so we feel like we're really efficient, and that goes into the pricing of it.
Yeah, in some of the reticence isn't that we're concerned about anyone else understanding what our pricing model is we want to make sure that it's a fit for what you're doing. So this is typically something that we would take offline and reach out to you directly and provide you a fixed bid quote. That's another thing that we do is that, when we come in and provide a recommendation, everything is understood up front. This is a challenge in our industry, is that people get you on the back end, or that you wanted that, it's going to be 3 times as much. We're aware of that, and we're trying to avoid any of those pitfalls that come with it, but at the same time, make sure that you're in the right product for what you need, and it solves the problem that you're trying to solve, and is not short-sighted.
Yeah, let me jump in there because that's important. We focus on long-term partnerships. We've lost two clients, and both of them ran out of land or no longer were in business. But for the last 15 years, these clients, like, we really focus on creating that long-term partnership. I think that was one of the biggest things we hold our heads high on, is that we've never lost a client. We've got great relationships with all of our clients.
All
Okay,
right.
thank you for that information.
Thanks, Sean, for the question. Anybody else have anything before I let Kay do her spiel at the end?
I
Miss-
just got something really quick. Long-time
Yeah.
listener, first-time caller.
Okay.
Just wondered if you guys have anything that would allow LotWorks to just be a front-end viewer if you already track sales in another ERP. My name's Garth. I am the product manager for LotWorks, so this is not like I'm not trying to fool anybody here. But I thought that might be worth mentioning. You're asking about where the product's going. We do have some clients that use it really just for the strength of the map viewer, so they can get access to that data that way. And they do have an external ERP that they're tracking sales, lot sales, home sales in, and they just want to push that data into LotWorks again to use the maps. We've got a couple clients doing that right now. That's something we're going to be focusing on. We are doing right now, building that out. So that's just sort of streamlining that and making that integration easier. So if there happens to be any other people representing other ERPs, come talk to us. Love to work with you.
All right, Garth, thank you very much. Thanks to all the folks on the phone with LotWorks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.